Ooh, hey, what's going on, everybody? Just got done with my workout. Received a message, and I thought I'd make a video real quick to talk about it. Basically, the message was, why am I making so much videos in regards to air-powered weaponry? It's really simple. I want to say first off that I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in the right to bear arms. I'm an American, so it's kind of like put into me since birth, I guess. But I still do nonetheless believe that everybody should have the right to defend themselves and their loved ones, right? And that's not just in America. I believe everybody should have that right across the world. With that being said, I do believe that there are certain individuals that probably should not have a firearm or should never have a firearm again. And those people are the ones that have committed a violent crime. Here in America, if you are a felon, you cannot own a firearm. A lot of times you can also not vote. They take away your civil rights. That's what they're called. Some people can get it back if you petition for them, and you show that you've completed everything as far as the stipulations of your release, after your incarceration and stuff like that. Nonetheless, I don't want to really get into all of that, but it's very costly. It's not a guarantee, and most people do not get their civil rights back after being deemed a felon, being convicted as a felon, regardless if it was nonviolent and or violent, especially. Let's talk about the nonviolent offenders, though. Did you know that I believe the statistics, again, I could be a little off, but the last time I looked it up, I believe the statistics is here in America, 8% of the population has a felony conviction. A lot of a lot of felons are indeed those who have committed violent offenses, but there's a large clump of those felons who were nonviolent, committed a financial crime, some other type of offense, and had nothing to do with violence whatsoever. But they no longer can defend themselves to the full capabilities that I believe they should be able to do. And so for those reasons, I wanted to actually make a lot of videos regarding self-defense means less than lethal launchers, obviously, and what is available to them. Some states still have rules and regulations and laws that make it very difficult, nonetheless, for these individuals to even own a less than lethal launcher. Matter of fact, even regular citizens, and in some places in America, it's still illegal to own one of those. But that's one of the reasons. The other reason why I wanted to make videos about less than lethal launchers, it's not going to be my main focus, but it is going to be videos going forward. I will be making a lot more of those. Is because there's a lot of people who, might have the capability of owning a firearm, but choose not to. They don't want to actually shoulder the responsibility of owning a firearm, because let's face it, when you own a firearm, whether it's a rifle, shotgun, or handgun, you are shouldering the responsibility that maybe, just maybe, one day you might have to end life. And it might just be an animal or it might be another human being, but that's what firearms do, right? They're a tool to do one thing, basically. And I'm not demonizing firearms whatsoever. You guys already know I just said I'm a big supporter of the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms. But it is a responsibility nonetheless when you actually own a firearm, right? You have to realize that when you own one, the chances of you possibly ending life jump up dramatically because you own a tool. Like, you own the tool to do that now. And whether it's a mistake or whether it's by chance that situation ever comes around, regardless, a lot of people do not want to shoulder that responsibility. I know a lot of people, as crazy as this might sound, have said they'd rather die before taking somebody else's life. They just do not want that responsibility, right? They just know themselves. They don't want it. And it's, I get it. It's a valid thing. Like, a lot of people might not agree with it and think other people who say that are crazy, but I got to be honest, guys. I get it, although I don't see it that way. I do not want to ostracize or demonize or put those individuals who choose, for whatever reason they have, not to own a firearm in a negative, view or group. So for that reason, I still wanted to do videos to show them that they can still protect themselves at a distance if a conflict arises before it gets physical, right? And the reason why I say that, by the way, exactly that way, be able to protect themselves at a distance before things get physical, is because a lot of people would like to think that they can actually defend themselves in a physical altercation if it ever arises. The truth of the matter is, Most people wouldn't be able to do that to save their life, pun intended. And that's just the reality of it. A lot of people would like to think that they can fight, but Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody has this image of themselves, or everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. The unfortunate truth is not a lot of people are able to actually physically defend themselves and or fight for that matter. So, people should have the right, or should have the means, I should say, to protect themselves at a distance before things get physical, regardless, of if they morally do not want to own a firearm, and or they legally can't, especially those non-violent offenders, right? Violent offenders, again, like I said, it's the way the cookie crumbles. I'm sorry. You already chose your path, I guess. But that's just one of the reasons, right? Like, there should be the capability for people to defend themselves at a distance before things get physical. Now, I myself, I train in a martial arts, excuse me. And even still, even though I would like to think I'm pretty efficient and pretty good and at least have some experience at, a martial art, I don't know. I don't get into fights very often. I don't want to get into a fight very often. I would much rather deter somebody at a distance and or finish that conflict at a distance before it ever gets close to me or my family. That's just the truth of the matter. So that's why I say it that way. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to share some content about less than lethal launchers on my YouTube channel. Another question that I got, and I guess to build on air-powered weaponry, the reason why I've been sharing with a lot of people high caliber air rifles is because honestly and truthfully, I think they're a lot of fun again, and they're very inexpensive to use. The cost for maintenance is much lower than a lot of these firearms are. The cost of ammunition to use them is much, much lower than the cost of traditional ammunition. And in North America, at least, I can pretty much take care of everything I need to take care of that's walking on four legs or two, for the most part, that's here in America, right? Like if I ever needed to go fend for my family, if stuff just hit the fan, hit the wall, and things went really, really south here in America, right? Like my family could be loaded up with ammunition, thousands of ammunition. It's much easier to carry when it comes to 30 caliber pellets and or slugs. And then, we could have a bunch. I'm just going to use I have a favorite 30 caliber break barrel pellet rifle from Hatsan. If all of us had that break barrel or 25 or 22, like we could probably go hunting and fend for ourselves quite well if we needed to out in the wild. And we could also defend ourselves quite well in the wild with very low tools needed and or maintenance to do so, right? So again, I think the practical side of it, is very, very realistic. No, again, I'm not debating that firearms are way more efficient at doing what they do or whatever you want them to do. Not debating that at all. I'm just saying, like, if you're a target person, you like to just go out and target shoot, like you can do that with a high caliber air rifle a lot more cost effectively, and they're a lot more accurate, to be very honest with you. In the most most cases, they're a lot more accurate. They're a lot more quieter. And so I think they're very, very practical. I think the technology behind air-powered weaponry is very fascinating. I think it's developing like really, really quickly as we've been seeing over the past few years. And so it's interesting, nonetheless, if all of that fails to kind of land or hit a mark with anybody, it's interesting and it's fun. So that's why I've been making a lot of videos in regards to air-powered weaponry. And I want to say anybody right now, anybody can get their hands on most of these things, right? Like you can walk into a big box store, Walmart, Target, Sports Academy. You can even go online and you can order these things. It gets delivered straight to your door and you don't have to register. You don't have to have background check. You don't have to have none of this stuff for the most part, right? For the most part. Again, some places make it more difficult than others, but it's readily available. So like the availability for a lot of people is much higher than traditional firearms. And so, I don't know, I just think they have a great market fit out there in the world. I think they have a great practicality. I can't even say that word today for some reason. And just the cost efficiency of using these things is much, much better. So anyway, that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys don't agree with me or do agree with me, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on things. And then also, if you guys would, please subscribe. It definitely goes a long, long way. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a great Sunday. You guys be safe out there. Peace.